Looking forward over the next 2 weeks, a couple of things are going on that are bear some discussion here. One is that the pattern of cold weather in through the northern plains and upper Midwest Great Lakes area, boy, that is going to continue. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at where around the nation it's dry and wet, because these two things are starting to form a pattern. And as we get a little bit closer to the actual growing season, if that pattern doesn't change, it'll tell us something about what the summer's going to be like. Jet stream pattern right now is split. There's actually a split up here around Alaska and a second split over the Rocky Mountain areas, and it's resulting in a relatively cold weather pattern across the northern plains and Great Lakes. Cold weather little finger of that slips down into the Rockies. And for the time being, with the main jet so far south, it's really pushed the warm weather in the southeastern states just down to the Gulf Coast area. Florida is nice and sunny and warm. Rest of the south fairly chilly as we go through this week. Cold weather will linger across the northern plains. Most of North Dakota, Minnesota, and into Wisconsin is just going to be cold. The cold will be fleeting over the eastern part of the nation. It will kind of come and go. A lot of frontal activity in this region. But in the northern plains, it just stays cold. Toward the end of the week, a little bit of ridging out west will pull some warm weather up into the southwest and up into California and even into parts of western Oregon. That's not necessarily a good thing agriculturally because it continues to be a very dry winter out in those areas. The second week of the forecast here, we're going to continue with this split flow pattern, but it's also mostly a northerly flow, which is going to keep the northern plains fairly cold and keep the deep south fairly cold as well. As far as precipitation goes, there will be a couple of systems that will work out through the Midwest this week, mostly the eastern part of the corn bean belt. It will bring some rain to the south. The southwest will stay dry. There'll be a little bit of snow into the Rocky Mountains. The northern plains stays dry. Second week, this northern area continues to be cold. Rainy weather will continue in the southeast, not necessarily enough rain down in the deep south, and the southwest may get a few showers, but nothing probably particularly significant. And this looks like a fairly thin line of heavier snow potential. Most of the Midwest is going to be fairly dry. And I wanted to mention this too. We had this on last week, but it's really coming to pass that most of the northern and eastern parts of North Dakota, as we go through the entire month of March, I really don't expect much snow melting. We're going to delay spring in this area. No melting at all when you get up this far north, but a lot of cooler than average weather in the northern U.S. To get warmer than average, you're going to have to go south and east from Chicago. Iowa will be about average in March, and it'll just stay that way. And as we look at the precipitation pattern, kind of a similar regime. Wet in the eastern Corn Belt, Pacific Northwest, most of the plains pretty dry.